Why are all maps flat? This is a question I heard many of times now from the flat earthers, and there's a perfectly good explanation of this. So this here is a map of Norway. It's 1 to 800,000, so it's not really detailed. It's nicely folded, and when I get it all folded out, it's pretty big. So let's have a look and see what that means. It means this. This is a 1.5 meter about map, and that covers all of Norway folded twice or cut twice. So it's half of Norway there and half of Norway there. And that means it's not very detailed. There are no local roads or anything here. You can't do any local orientation or navigation. There's just nothing here. It's just the main roads. And I wouldn't use this for practically anything else but driving Norway all along or something. Not any local thing. So what do you need for doing that? Here I'm on Google Maps, and there's no scale here except this tiny little one in the bottom here. But I don't know exactly what the scale is, but what you do need for local navigation is at least some road names. And to have that, you need to zoom in pretty much all the way in here. There we have just about all of them. And for that you need something like 1 to 20,000 of a map. Just about there, 1 to 20,000 for covering all the streets. But if we go back here to this scale right there, you have the Norwegian, is it castle, where the king lives? And you have a big church here. So this is where I started my scaling. Right here. This is a screenshot of that map. And from here to here, that is 1.11 kilometers. That's 0.01 of a degree of curvature. That's pretty flat. If we zoom out a bit here to the next map, now we're covering just about that I showed you with sorry, that was this one, the castle to the church. Zoom out a bit. Now we lose all the road names. There's just no road names there. There's the big one. But this is barely what you want to navigate by. Scale out a bit more. Here. This is about the size of the map that I had of Norway. Just probably the same size about, yeah. Now you're covering a bit more. But now you're losing a whole lot of information here. There's no larger roads, no smaller roads. So this is, up here there should be just about as many roads as there were, in the streets as there was in the small ones. If we zoom out a bit more, here is a SketchUp guy. He is 1.75 meters. I guess that's like 50 Fahrenheit, 12 stones or something. 3 minutes, I don't know. But let's zoom a bit more here. Now we have this size map. We're covering 111 kilometers. That's 1 degree of curvature. You have to cover from Drammen to Kongsvinger in Norway to get 1 degree of curvature. So if you have a map this size, you need to bend that map 1 degree. 1 degree. Zoom out a bit more. Here. Now we're covering the southern part of Norway. And they say that 125,000 pieces. That is from this size down here. That one. to cover this scale with all that information, you need 125,000 pieces, because here Kristiansand is a pretty big city. There's nothing here. So at this size is just again for traveling across Norway. No local information at all. Let's zoom a bit more. Here we have all of Norway. This size. And yeah, Norway is covering about 15 degrees of curvature. So if you have a map of whole of Norway, it's 15 degrees, this size. If you paste that on the globe in 1 to 20,000, you need a globe that is 636.77 meters if you don't want a flat map. So if you're going to carry around this globe to navigate locally, this is the size you need, 636 meters. And I don't think that will fit in the back pocket of the SketchUp guy, Chris. So if you take this map, that is half of Norway twice. That's 7.5 degrees of curvature. That looks something like that. That is the entire curvature, 7.5 degrees, that this map needs to be bent. So why are not all maps flat? Because they don't need to be. Simple as that. So let's say you just have a small map of a city or something, like I had, covering the center of Oslo, and it's 0.01 degrees of curvature. No, maps can be flat. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye bye.